A girl looks into the camera. Her black hair flows freely from her head. She doesn't bother with a mask. She's a cape from a future that sometimes she remembers. That girl is me. I woke in an interrogation room. My hands were chained in front of me. There was no chair across from me, yet still the room felt oddly familiar. Had I been here before? Yes, I realized as the door opened and she entered. She wheeled her way in. My eyes fell to her leg, wrapped in plaster. "Taylor Hebert," Alexandria said. "Do you know what you've done?" I tried to say something, but I couldn't find the words. I wanted to ask her what had happened. How many died? She asked. It was the same question I'd wanted to ask her. How? Not this time, she said. Last time. In your future now, forever forgotten. I looked her up and down and began to laugh. She raised an eyebrow. Could she read me? "We've done this before," I said at last. It didn't end well. "Who for?" I laughed again. "For you," I said. I didn't mean to do that either. Not really. "Do what?" "Kill you." "Not that hard a feat now," she said, gesturing at herself. "Then your powers are..." "Nobody who is in Canberra still has their powers," she said. "Except for you, I suppose." "The world didn't end?" I asked. "Not this time," said Alexandria. "Tell me, did it end in yours?" My eyes twitched shut briefly before I could still them, and I know, thinker power or no, Alexandria noticed. "Many worlds did," I said. "Some didn't. Some survived." "How many died?" "Billions," I said. How many this time?" Alexandria's lips tugged upwards slightly. She let out a soft laugh, almost a snort. It sounded wrong, coming from behind her dark mask. "Your doctor would say that one was too many, wouldn't he?" she said. "Is that what called you to him?" She leaned forward and rested her elbows upon the table. "He's not like us, is he?" she asked. "We fight. He talks. But he's gone now, isn't he?" "Is he?" asked Alexandria. She sat back in her seat. "It didn't work, you know." "What didn't?" "Your little story," she said. "The Daleks and their amalgam didn't just disappear." "They didn't? Then what?" "You said it, didn't you? The amalgam was mostly human. How did you put it? An amalgam of shards and flesh, I think you said." "But the Daleks, the amalgam destroyed them," she said. "And with them, it destroyed itself." They're gone?" "Yes." "Which brings us to the big question," said Alexandria. "What do we do with you? You saved billions. You killed thousands. And your power, it's frightening." I regarded her for a moment. My eyes lifted to the corners of the room where I knew nozzles sat ready to fire their containment foam. But it wouldn't be enough, would it? "You should," I started, before looking down at my chained hands. "The birdcage won't be enough." "No." I understand. And I did. It was the only thing they could do. Just like my stories, inevitably, I too had to end. I'm sorry, Taylor, she said. I know you didn't mean it, but there are consequences. I didn't look up at her as she made her way out of the room, her chair's wheels squeaking as she went. How long did I have? Would they just shoot me? Or would they do something more creative? It didn't matter, really. I allowed myself to smile. I didn't want to go, but still I understood, and though I may not have meant any of it, and the thousands may still have died, I'd saved billions, and that was something. That was... Then I heard it. The wheezing, whining sound. The TARDIS. I turned my head as its doors creaked open and he stepped out, a smug smile stretched across his face. The containment foam nozzles began to move, their motors whirring, but he reached out a hand, a metallic cylinder in his grasp. The tip of the cylinder began to glow green as the device emitted a whistle, and a moment later, the nozzles all fell silent. Then he pointed the device, his sonic screwdriver, at me. A press of a button, another whistle, more green glow, and then the metal cuffs binding my hands fell loose. Well, don't just sit there, he said disdainfully. Come on. He strode into the TARDIS, not even waiting for me to follow, yet still I did. But, I tried to say, but I wasn't sure what I was trying to ask. But you were just a story. Oh, yes, he said, snapping his fingers. I heard the TARDIS's door creak shut behind me. Yes, a story indeed. But I finished it, I said. Your story. It's over. He chuckled and strode towards me. He gently laid his hand upon my shoulder as he looked into my eyes. If stories ended when you were finished telling them, they wouldn't be stories, would they? Just words, here for a moment, then gone, vanished forever. My story affected the amalgam, though. I said it was mostly human, and then it saved us. You told a story. Of course it was affected. Like you said, it was mostly human. But I controlled it. It decided it wanted to be controlled. That wasn't your doing. But I glanced back at the doors. Were we still in the interrogation room? Or had we dematerialized? I didn't know. There's still no future for me. The doctor's grip on my shoulder tightened. My gaze returned to him. No future, he asked. Why do you think I came here? He searched my eyes, his widening smile now filled with excitement. Come on, he said. What do you say? Come with me. And with one last glance back, I did. And now here I am, looking again into the camera. I guess I wanted to let you know what happened. Also, I wanted you to meet someone. Come on, Lisa, wave to them. I guess now my story's done. I'm not sure what else to say. Maybe that's okay. Thank you all so much for listening. You're important to me, little beetles. Remember that, okay? You are important. Stay safe, live, and be happy.